Access to quality water and sanitation plays an important role in enhancing standards of any community. The Netherlands Development Organisation is one of the institutions which is helping rural communities in Zambia to improve sanitary conditions through its Sustainable Sanitation and Hygiene for All program. In Northern Province, the organization is carrying out sanitation projects in 4 districts, namely Mporokoso, Luwingu, Mungwi, and Kasama. SNV has further taken a step to provide rural communities with affordable but durable latrine technology options in an effort to curb open defecation. It is for this reason that the organization recently conducted an 8-day practical training in latrine construction for selected stakeholders, mostly bricklayers.
Due to this meeting, I'm very aware that we will learn so much from the people who have come to deliberate or to show us how to go about constructing this latrine. And our aim and focus is that it should save the people in the rural communities. We've looked at this latrine from the past, as into our comparing to our environment. Our environment, the latrines which we are constructing, especially for Kalungu, Chambeshi ward, we are facing a challenge whereby latrines are collapsing. So with the coming of these SAFI latrines, I think it's a plus to us that if we can overcome the challenge of collapse of these latrines, we'll add value to our people and they will save a long way. As you are aware, we are in this period where the rain season is falling heavily, especially for Northern Province. And these latrines, if we go out there, we'll find quite a number of them have collapsed. So with the coming of this SAFI latrine, I'm sure we'll overcome this challenge.
SNV Country Director Dr. Sue Ellis was on hand to grace this landmark occasion held in Mungwi District.
So prior to this training taking place, one of the things that we did, well actually 2 of the things we did, we looked at sanitation supply chain. Who knew? There's a supply chain for sanitation. There is. If you want a toilet, you need to be able to get access to the pieces of the toilet. So we looked at that sanitation supply chain and we said, how easy is it to get the materials you need or the equipment that you need in order that people can have the latrine that they want. And then we also looked at consumer demand and we said, okay, for the people in these 4 districts that we're working, what do people actually want in terms of a latrine? And what do they want? What are the specific needs of certain members of the population? Because very often you find things which are just like, oh well, that does for most people, so let's just build this. But if you're elderly, or if you're somebody living with disabilities, or if you're extremely poor, how do you actually get access to a latrine that fulfills your needs, that's within a price that you can pay, and that meets your needs? You can actually get to it if you're elderly, you can actually use it if you've got disabilities. So that was an important part of the study, looking at what those criteria would be for these districts. As a result of that, we came up with a matrix almost of what people need and what people can be supplied with. And one of the solutions that fits into that matrix is this first SAFI latrine design. And I'll tell you why that's so important, because the results of the study showed that for these 4 districts, they're actually below average in terms of access to sanitation. If you look at the national average, it's about 43% of the population has access to a latrine. If you look here, it's about 34%. And one of the reasons for that is because people build them and then the wretched things collapse, or they get washed out, or the soil gives in. And once you've dug a latrine once, it's really hard to gather the enthusiasm to go back out and dig another latrine, right? It's a lot of effort. So what we need is a solution that helps people once they've dug it so that it actually lasts.
And Sustainable Sanitation and Hygiene for All Program Manager Kumbulani Ndlovu highlighted the significance of the training program.
What we are looking at is that as the communities move away from open defecation to a fixed point, we want them to sustain the positive behaviors which they have gained, so that it becomes sustainable, so that it's not a once-off thing. Once we say goodbye to open defecation, it should be forever. And towards this, we've committed ourselves to DFID. As you know that this program is funded by DFID. We've committed that by the end of this year, 2015, at least 230,000 people will have access to an improved latrine. These are new people who have been practicing open defecation. So we've committed that 230,000. We are going to ensure that come December 2015, when the MDGs also end, when the National Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Program also comes to an end, that will be our contribution. And so far the results are encouraging, because what we are getting from CLTA, from the DHIS2 reporting mechanism, I think it's in Mborokoso, so far where we have the highest figure. I think it's about, Wamnyuma correct me, 7,000.
Yes, 7,600.
7,000. But some champions have still not reported. We're talking about data of those who have reported. So I think it's encouraging. The same applies to the other districts. So we think we'll meet our target. The other component after BCC which we have is the one which we are gathered for under here, which we call the supply chain, the finance and supply chain. What we are saying is, yes, people are going to move away from open defecation. They have a latrine, but we would like people to rise up what we call the sanitation ladder. They may start with a simple traditional latrine, which is fine. At least they are no longer practicing open defecation. But we would like them to move up the ladder. And this training which we are convening here is to provide some of those choices, so that people, if they say, I now want to build a better latrine, which will last for a long time, which won't collapse after 3 months, especially now with the rain season, what choice do I have? What alternative do I have? So the Masons who are gathered here are in a very crucial role to ensure that the communities here are provided access to these options. Then lastly, we've got the WASH governance component, where we're saying, yes, this program has come through SNV, but the critical player in sanitation, in water, is the local authority. In terms of the legal environment of Zambia, the planning authority is the local authority, the district council. We are supporting the district council. So therefore, what we want to ensure is that our activities are mainstreamed, are anchored in local authority operations, so that come end of this project, the local authorities continue to run it. It will be sad for us to hear after we've left to say, when there was SNV, this is what was happening. This is part of the local authority program. That is why already we are working flat out with the local authorities to ensure that it is integrated.
Two experts from Tanzania provided technical knowledge in construction of what is known as SAFI Latrines. The SAFI Latrine is a Tanzanian innovation, and SAFI is a Swahili word which means clean. Mongo's Chitila village, which is home to a number of visually impaired persons, was chosen as a site where two SAFI Latrine options were to be constructed as part of the demonstration.
We've apparently made a lot of strands in terms of the outputs from the molds that we're developing. This far, we've been able to produce the needed components that we need for both the dry offset as well as the wet offset latrines. And what is actually happening now is we are waiting for these to actually get strong, or curing them. And this is a lengthier process, because this is the actual site where we're doing the construction of, the actual place where we're doing the molding and everything else needed. But we're going to do the construction from a different site, and from there we need rings. So today's particular assignment is going to Lukasha Threads, where we're going to create molds needed for the rings. Then beyond that, we're going to go to the site where we're going to do the actual phototyping of these latrines. So from there we are heading to Chitila, People's Place for the Blind. We are going to establish the 2 latrines needed. Activities for the 4.
Lubamba Association for the Blind chairperson, Abraham Mwenya, now explains the various challenges facing people with visual impairment when answering the call of nature.
All our members and our society at the center are happy, and they are anxiously waiting to see what SNV is going to construct at our center. Right now, our people, our mothers and fathers, children are anxiously waiting to see what SNV is going to do there. Secondly, I plead with our government and to encourage SNV to extend this kind of assistance to all the districts in Northern Province and other provinces in Zambia. Because as you know, most of our land in Zambia are in rural areas where we need sanitation to improve, because if sanitation is improved, we are going to eliminate this diarrhea-related diseases like cholera, typhoid, and so forth.
The training was loaded, and on the very first day, participants had to get down to work by sharing their respective experiences in latrine construction and sustainability.
Mwaimba, mwateme milando, mwabika, then mwagakula, mwabika po, if yani, whatever shani. And then na ma VIP toilets. Fulasari to chita construct. But ama VIP toilets, to chita constructing sana, like as I said earlier on. Kwa bachasangwa sana muma places like muma hospitals, muma schools, and then na muma companies, whatever. So emo yasangwa sana ma VIP toilets.
As the training went on, the practical aspect was getting more real, and the demonstration site became a hive of activity. The participants, who had to now put into practice the theory of the SAFI Latrine construction basics, appreciated the training experience, which they described as a great opportunity.
No, it's good technology coming from Tanzania, where we are getting the SAFI, which basically concerns much of the platform, and then making toilets safer than the traditional ones we have. It's more permanent, safer, and it's clean. We're looking forward to see how best the knowledge will be shared with us, especially from guys from Tanzania. We compared the two with Ecos and toilet, but it looks more simple and cheaper to construct than the knowledge we've seen.
The training experts were equally satisfied with the work done by the trainees and happily concluded their mission.
I think the people who are brought here, they are good and they're well qualified. They'll scale up stuff just the way we want it to be. Okay. To be cured, like to be properly strong, and 14 days to be very strong, and 24 days to be very, very strong. So we only have like 14 days, and we have to make all these products and make a latrine, so that's a challenge. We don't think if you can have 7 days for all the components. Right now we only have 3 components, and we still have 2 components to be made. And we have gone to day 4, and we still have like 10 days to go, but we have to make the mold and develop the latrine and make them cure.
The training also incorporated representatives from the Ministry of Local Government and Housing, University of Zambia, and Lukasha Trades Training Institute. At the end of the training, Participants were going back home not only with certificates of attendance, but equipped with skills in constructing SAFI latrines. It is hoped that stakeholders will come on board and help in the Open Defecation-Free campaign, thereby increasing sustainability to quality access to sanitation by communities.